Welcome back, lads. Today I'm casting a 1v1 between the British and the Russians. This one should be a pretty interesting matchup. I'm quite excited to see how it turns out, but let's get into it. So as we see here, playing as the Russians is Kaleli. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'm not 100% sure, so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Playing as Blue, we do have the Russians. And playing as the British, we have Rezai. I actually just watched another game of these guys play. It was a Russia-Iroquois matchup, and the Iroquois, or Rizzy, ended up coming up on top. But he's changed to Civ, which is quite interesting to see. We will take a quick sneak peek at the decks in a minute. They shouldn't be up quite yet. But this is a very interesting map. It does have some water capabilities, so if you are wanting to go for a bit more of a water approach, there's definitely the option there. We have some squid, as well as some whales, so there's plenty of food and coin in there. It's a very nice 1v1 map, because we do have trade routes and some nice trade posts as well. And we have the Zen Temple here, so that is quite an interesting one. And another Zen Temple. Be interesting to see if the British player goes for, or either player to be honest, goes for any trade routes. I'm expecting a nice mana boom here from the British, but you never know. And from the Russians, basing off what I saw last game, he did go for the push, but he just got outdone by the Iroquois. So I'm expecting that he's going to try to better himself this time and go for the push. I think if he is able to get like a nice blockhouse up right here, it's going to be pretty good positioning for him, because he's kind of got this area covered. And he's going to be able to claim lots of these herds in and around here as well, a lot easier. Kind of surprised to see that he hasn't quickly picked up this wood treasure here. I thought that would have been one that you definitely want to get at the beginning of the game, but you never know, could just be saving it for later. As there is a bit of contest over this 90.2 tiger treasure. I think the British player is happy just to sit out a little bit. He's going in for the treasure. This guy's kind of just sniping away at the tigers, getting them low, so some cheeky stuff here from the British player. He's going to probably try to steal this treasure off him. He can get a quick crack shot on one of these and take it. He will be able to claim the treasure. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out here. He's going for the crack shot. And And Kaleli, the Russian player, does come out with it, so some good stuff there. Interesting contest. We'll see what he goes in for his first age up here. His first card here. And he does go with the distributivism for the 1.25 wood trickle, so good stuff here. And just looking at the Russian deck here, a pretty standard Russian deck, I would say. Some nice resource cards here. Also, we do have the 13 Strelets, 4 Cossacks, and the 5 Cossack shipment. Interesting stuff. We do have the cannons, industrial cannons here, which I think is also very, very standard. And we do have the Manchurian cavalry archers, which is one of my favorite Russian cards as well, especially for the 1v1s. Alright, now we'll take a look at the British player's deck here, see what he is going for. Also, this looks like to be definitely a water deck, so that's going to be interesting. A huge water boom. He doesn't have that mansion upgrade. I can't think of the name of it at the moment. That makes your mansions cheaper, so kind of interesting. But I mean, you don't necessarily need it if you get enough of a wood boom going anyways, because he is going to be focusing a lot on wood to get all of those ships out. But that's going to be interesting. He's going to just need to be able to defend himself from the Russian push that he would probably be expecting. I mean, pretty much whenever you're coming against a Russian player, you got to expect that early rush. As we do have 2 guys coming up here, so I'm expecting a blockhouse to be put up here. do have a manor coming up here as well, probably just for scouting purposes, making sure that he's got a little bit of vision up here to see if there's any cavalry coming around to raid. We do have a market up here and 3 other houses here, so a little bit of a mana boom we see here. And from the Russians, we just have the 1 house up currently, but we do have a blockhouse in the middle here. So some prime positioning for this blockhouse here, love to see that. Although I'm sure the British player is well aware of the blockhouse being placed right there. Oh, and a nice treasure going to be picked up here, most likely from the British player. If he wants to be cheeky, he may even be able to grab the treasure with one of his villagers, but we'll see how that plays out. And I'm expecting the second card here, maybe a Cossack will be sent in. You would think that he'd probably want to save it for the Cossack, but never know. Oh, and he did try to go in for the treasure, some cheeky stuff there, love to see it. Always good with a little bit of treasure contesting. As he does go with the 5 Cossacks and the 5 Musketeers here to start. So he is going to get a little bit of raiding out, as we do have a stable coming up here from the British player and another outpost from the age up. So he did go with the age up of 200 gold and the outpost, and quite typical for a Russian player, you do generally want to go with that 400 wood age up, so love to see that there. As we do have the 5 musketeer rushing up here a little bit, potentially being able to pick off a villager, but no, he's spotted it quite quickly. He's got the villagers to shoot out of the town hall. Good reaction times there, as we do have the Cossack coming in here, potentially for some raids. Well, I think he is going to struggle to get any raids here, because there is this town, or this outpost, sorry, that is going to be watching over this area, so some good placement there. But the British player will want to kind of herd in all of this stuff a little bit more. He's scoping around the outside here, but he can't really get close enough. Struggling to be able to close the range on those villagers. There's some great outpost placement there, especially since he's most likely going for the water. Definitely want to get that outpost before we prioritize the army as much. We do have 4 Hussar coming out here. He's not gonna, oh no, maybe he will be moving the Hussar in. We do have another 4 Cossack coming in here, and 5 Musketeers been trained. You'd think the Musketeers should be able to handle these Hussar pretty well. As we do have a barracks coming up here as well. $700 coin coming in, so potentially going for that fast fortress aged up, or semi-fast fortress, you would expect. We do have the 4 Cossack coming in. And he is starting to train up some more Hussar and some Musketeer here. The market went down, but that's not too much of a problem. He's kind of blocking him off this herd as well by keeping the cavalry in this area, because he knows that it's going to get raided if he goes for that cavalry there. So he's gone for the one down here. We do have another shipment sent in here. He's going for the 6 musketeers. Beefing up that army a little bit here. Plenty of Cossacks here for the Russian player as well. A nice little mass of musketeer. And he's going to try to siege out this little manor here. I don't know if he's seen it, but if you can spot this manor, it would be good if he could siege it out, just because it will affect the population cap a little bit more for the British player. Should be able to get this house down pretty comfortably as well. British player is very confident. Cows do the work. Still massing up the army. He's about to get a big shipment in here though, so I'm expecting the British player to push up. There's a solid mass musketeers here as he has some in his Minutemen. A little bit of micro going on there. He's brought him into range with the counters, so some smart plays there. So I think the British player should be able to clean up pretty well here. Not really the best, although we do like the 13 strats coming out here. And luckily he's targeted all of the hussars, which is very smart, because those things will rip a reasonably even outcome here. I'd probably say the British player came off a little bit better. Still some more units coming out here as well. He hasn't gone into the ocean yet though, which is quite interesting. You would have thought that he would start expanding to the ocean, especially because he's getting blocked from many of these herds. But I guess he's been very preoccupied with making some army and defending his base. And if we look at the Russian player, he is massing up some more musketeers. He does have some more wood getting sent in as well. Oh, and we do have some hussar coming up the top here, so potentially some raids. He will be able to easily pick up this one villager who's trying to herd in these animals, and potentially get some easy raids over here since his army is very far away. So some sneaky plays here from the British player. He is pushing up a little bit with his army here. Oh, and this is not good for blue. Oh, are they going to go by? No, he has spotted them here. He should be able to take out all of these villages here before they can reach the town center. And his army is starting to move back. There's some huge pickings here for the British player. And some good reaction there with the hussar, able to bring them out in time, though he did lose about 3 or 4 villages there, so some big losses there for Russia. His score and eco was already a little bit behind compared to the British player, but that's pretty typical just with the manor house boom. Though he is putting up a trading post, so some good stuff there. And the hussar are back raiding in the back here. Will he react in time? That's the question. He is going to definitely lose one villager here, as he has sent out the Minutemen. Will the Minutemen be able to pick off one of these? Yes, they do. He has sent in the 700 coins, so potentially going for the age up here if he starts focusing more on food, which he is, so definitely going for the age up here. Some manor houses coming up all over the map for that scouting. Still surprised that the red or British player hasn't gone for any water plays yet. He does have the fish market, which increases gather rates, and this one which decrease build times and costs, so I'm surprised. I mean, he's been very preoccupied. But we'll see if he goes for a bit of a water boom a little bit later, potentially going into age 3 he'll go for a water boom. Got a huge mass here of some musketeers and strelets. 13 strelets and 29 musketeer. As he has got this next trade post up here as well. For two trade posts here for the Russia player. That is very much going to complement his economy a ton. He's going to have to watch these musketeer. We're probably trying to sneak out the back here again. If I were him, I'd probably leave about like 5 of the musketeer, maybe just in the back here, just to protect his base a little bit. Because he is pretty content on raiding in the back here. Although he is going to be able to pick off these houses up the top here and potentially find these villages as well. Some good stuff here from Russia. Hopefully he reacts in time here to not lose any villages. We do have 5 musketeer moving back here from the top. And the blockhouse coming up here from the top. So he's trying to gain a bit more of map control here. Oh, as we do have a solid massive musketeer and a few minutemen. And some hussar coming in the back here to push up here. But he's got no army back here, so this can quite easily be taken. All of the villages are sent back here. Tons going on at the moment. It's hard to keep up. He's been able to take out a few villages and he should break this down pretty easy. Should probably unqueue these musketeer because they're going to get absolutely whacked. Nope, they're going to collapse. Oh, and the big massive units coming into the back of his base here. And he sent in the second 600 coin. He is raiding out plenty of villages at the side, and Russia has given in. He lost a lot of map control here, and the score was a fair bit behind. If we do have a look at the resources here. Yeah, the British player was a fair bit on top on resources, but that's mostly just because of the mana boom. The British player didn't even need to go into the water. So well played from the British player, just being solid. I think that's one thing that Britain's always really good at, is they can most of the time defend most of the rushes, unless it's like a really strong push early on. They should be able to defend it. And he's done this well. I think Britain is, in my opinion, one of the strongest Age 2 civs as well, just with their huge mana boom economy. But well played between Kalele and Razai. We have a look at the military here. Britain killed 52 units and Russia 28, losing a lot more, so he's just outdone him in the military there. And I think the one engagement that they had down here with the military is really where Britain won it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed this casted game, and I'm going to have plenty more games coming up of casted games and some interesting strategies, so stick around for that. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you homies in the next one.